Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, you're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. The show is broadcast live from the illustrious Radio 1 studio. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. And I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. I am Robert Gatewood, and I am a business developer by trade. I help companies get into business, succeed in business. Some people are sitting on the fence. They're wondering if they should make the plunge. Then you probably need to talk to somebody. Talk to me or somebody, but it's not for the weak of heart. And that's why we started this show, actually, to help people who are trying to transition from working at a job, working for the government, working for corporations. Maybe you just tired. Maybe you looking to build a legacy. Maybe you're tired of working for the man, tired of some little snot telling you what to do all day long. Whatever your reason, if you decide to make that leap, you shouldn't take it lightly, and you should be prepared. And that's what we do here on the Marketing Pulpit. I've been doing this now for about 30 years as an entrepreneur and doing the show for 15 years. We started on Radio 1 back in 2010, and we've been going strong ever since. We've helped many companies navigate these choppy business waters, and we're here to help you too. And I've been doing it had some help, had some amazing co-hosts and guests who come on to help tell this story of business entrepreneurship and help you with your journey. And so I'm glad to be here on this first Friday in the month of October. We're talking about going into a new month. We're also going into the fourth quarter of 2025. And, if you've been playing the long game, even though sometimes things didn't go the way you expected the first 3 quarters, then you have to go into that hurry up offense sometimes as you get closer to the end of the game. Well, it was not time to hurry up yet, but it is time to start looking ahead and going back and reevaluating where you are and what you need to do going forward. So this is that time. Welcome to October. This is this particular day, October 3rd, is World Smile Day. Smile. You'd be surprised what an impact just a smile can have on somebody's day. You don't have to talk. You don't have to get up. Just do eye contact and lay a smile on them. And sometimes that's the difference between somebody having a good day and a bad day. So I really appreciate this Smile Day. For the month is the ADHD Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Down Syndrome Awareness Month, Financial Planning Month, National Bully Prevention Month, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I was talking with my good client and friend, Miss Mildred Muhammad, the other day, and she's been beating that drum about domestic violence. Of course, her husband was the deep sea sniper, and there's actually going to be a documentary coming out on HBO this month on her story. So looking forward. I'm glad to be working with her, putting the materials together. So looking forward to that coming up this month. And it's also Vegetarian Month. And one thing that's been talked about quite a bit is this: we're actually in a government shutdown right now. That's going to be our news story today, and that's going to be the topic that we're going to cover. That's going to be our marketing sermon. So we're just going to jump right in it because I have a lot to cover. We're going to talk about how it impacts everyone, from the people in the DC area, business owners, government workers, contractors. It's pretty comprehensive. It covers quite a bit of territory. So the agencies have furloughed about 400,000 non-essential workers. And there's a possibility, as this becomes more politicized, that the Trump administration is thinking about doing some permanent job cuts during this time. Now, as we have seen, this administration has been kind of loose-footed with the rule of law and the Constitution. And at times, the commander-in-chief has seemed a little unwell at times. And I don't want to make this a political issue, but this is not normal, what's going on. And anybody who pretends that it's normal or buys into this, you really need to take a good hard look in the mirror, because this is not normal. While we're at this shutdown, I'm not going to get into that, but in the larger picture, we've been seeing these cuts. We've seen the displacement of 300,000 Black women who are under attack. And this shutdown will be used for political opportunism. And so what we're going to try to do today is state some of the obvious of what's going on and provide some steps. And that's why our sermon today, the theme of the show, is Furlough Forward. We as a community, as a people, as business owners have never shunned adversity, challenges. And one thing I say as a business developer is that for every challenge, there's opportunity. As a matter of fact, one of the most enduring business axioms is find a need and fill it, find a problem and solve it. That's the shortcut, the short description of how to succeed in business. When I started my company, Gatewood Marketing, I saw that there was a need among small business owners to get the same type of exceptional service that the large companies have, get some of the same results. But because they didn't have the same budgets, then of course I would have to find some way to make it affordable to them. So what I did, I took my many years in corporate America as president, vice president, CFO, CTO. I've worn all the hats. But what I did, I took my expertise and saw a need, a problem, and I stepped into that space. And my company has been successful in that endeavor. And so we're going to look at this furlough as, of course, nobody likes it, nobody wants it, but you can either throw up your hands, but I say let's go ahead and thrive and find ways to make it work for us. As a community, we've been notorious for taking lemons and turning it into lemonade. And there's no reason we can't look at this furlough the same way. But let's look at what's going on, some of the things that may be impacted. Well, of course, it can lead to significant disruption in the public service and has economic and financial consequences. Some of the obvious one is the growth in unemployment. A shutdown can negatively impact economic growth. So if you have an economy that's already kind of wobbly, then this can accelerate the deterioration of the economy. So each week this shutdown takes place, the economy can lose up to $7 billion, which which impacts consumer and investor confidence. And of course, then there's the disruption of services. Some essential services that we call essential might be halted, including mainstream services, maintenance of the parks and services, airport security, public health programs. National Institutes of Health may stop admitting new patients. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics might stop releasing important data. But let's look at the employees that are impacted. We're talking about 400,000 federal employees who are prohibited from working and will not receive pay during the shutdown. Now, there will be some essential workers that will be required to come to work, but even those won't be paid until the shutdown is over. They'll be receiving retroactive pay once it's over. But in an economy where some people are living from paycheck to paycheck, some are already struggling, you take about a couple of months out of their paycheck, then they got to seek alternative ways to make ends meet. Of course, the shutdown contributes to stress. It's going to have an impact on people's mental health. I was talking to a young man the other day. He just started in the federal government. He saw a bright future. He passed up on other job opportunities because many people like him saw the government as a steady, reliable employer. Now, of course, with the current chief executive, it's just about everything except that. You're talking about laying off 400,000 people on the heels of displacing 300,000 Black women and threatening now to make many of those people who have been furloughed permanently, removing them from the workforce. That's going to be quite stressful. People have mortgages, they have kids in school, they have health issues. That can be stressful. So I'm giving you the picture first, and then we're going to talk about some of the solutions, some of the things that you can do. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Today we're talking about Furlough Forward, how to navigate this government shutdown, which has been forced upon the people of this nation and has disproportionately impacted people of color and people in the Washington, D.C. area. That includes Washington, D.C. proper, Prince George's County, Charles County, Montgomery County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County. We're talking about Northern Virginia, Arlington, Alexandria, Crystal City, Springfield. These people are impacted. They're in the direct line of fire. Now, we're talking about some of the things that are going to be impacted. Things like nutrition assistance program. Some people may actually go hungry. SNAP programs, WIC programs may face funding issues affecting millions of beneficiaries if this shutdown persists. And while Medicaid and Medicare may not be impacted directly, it could cause some delays in processing due to staff shortages. We're talking about the impact of this senseless shutdown. And sometimes you look at the government, our politicians, you want to just clean house and start all over. government, politicians, there seems to be their number one priority is to get reelected. Now, of course, we talked about some of the long-term implications, consumer and investor confidence. When you experiencing a shutdown and it gets prolonged, then of course consumer confidence drops. That means spending drops. That means investors stop investing. People start sitting on what money they have, which has a trickle-down effect. So in a nutshell, this government shutdown can have far-reaching implications. And the longer it lasts, the more severe the consequences are likely to be. So we would like to do for this thing to end. But we're not going to be deterred. So let's talk about how this might affect people in the Washington, D.C. area. You might see things slowed down, like getting a passport, certain permits. If you go into the parks and museums, you might not have access. And of course, the emotional and financial stress on your household, because it's going to have a greater impact on people in this area. So my advice during this time is start prioritizing your spending. Cover your things like your mortgage, utilities, groceries, and things like that. And you might delay some of the discretionary items. And if you do happen to fall on hard times, you can go to things like local nonprofits, community organizations, food banks. So there are resources out here. If this thing tends to drag out, get online. We'll be posting some of these resources on our website and on our social media posts. And just stay tuned here to the Marketing Pulpit. We are here to help you. Also, stay informed. And do not buy into the misinformation. That's been the downside of this new era that we're in. You really don't know what to believe. You may see a post pop up out of the blue and say, hey, the shutdown is over. And it may not be the case. So you got to cross-reference your news sources. So for you folks in the DC area, let's prioritize our spending. Let's check out the available assistance programs, and let's stay on top of our information. Now, for the people who are the federal government employees and contractors, people just calling me, texting me while I'm on the air. Well, I'll tell you, I've been very busy because, for better or worse, during these economic crises, my company seems to be what we call recession-proof. We had our best year ever during the first year of the pandemic. And that was because people were looking for answers. They were looking for solutions. So we're going to talk about in a minute on how you too can look at some of these challenges as opportunities. And it's not to take advantage of people when they're down. It's actually providing services that they need. Some people may not have the funds. We help them get the funds, where to look for money, and things like that. So if you're in the DC area, and if you're a federal employee, wherever you are, you could see a delay in your paychecks. That's almost a given. They don't write checks during shutdowns, whether you're essential or non-essential. And the stress that comes with it can really take its toll. So if you're a federal employee or if you're a contractor, depending on federal dollars, you might look at some short-term work, some gig work, consulting, tutoring. I would say ride share, things like that. That's an option also. And so you want to look at ways that you can keep the lights on. And also look for these temporary assistance programs. There are programs out here that are made for times like this. So what you might want to do is see if you're available. Also, don't wait until they start cutting off your lights and taking your car, putting your furniture on the street. Reach out to these creditors. Let them know I am a federal worker. I will get paid eventually. What can we work out? I found this out many years ago, particularly with credit cards and things like that. Many of them have a built-in 3-month pass before they impact your credit. And in many cases, all you have to do is ask for it. So look, can I skip this month? So you'll be amazed how many organizations actually have that built into their business model, but you have to ask. So if you're a federal worker, contractor, look at short-term work, look at temporary assistance programs, and reach out to your creditors, your lenders, your mortgages, landlords, and people like that, and say, look, hey, I'm good for it. And you'll be surprised how many will accommodate you. Now, if you're a small business in the DC area or beyond, or if you're just impacted by this shutdown and you're a small business, let's talk about some of the ways you may be impacted and some action items. There may be a delay in your getting paid because the federal government has long legs. Your client may not be a government agency or even a contractor, but the trickle-down effect is enormous. Some of your residential clients may be government workers, and they're impacted. So you may see people start paying slower, people spending less money on some of the items you may be offering. And this could be a challenge. If you're a restaurant, if you're a shop, service provider. So you have to look at any type of opportunities out here that are set up to help furlough workers and how that may impact your business. And if you, as a business owner, do you have any opportunities, any type of services that might help or be targeted towards furloughed contractors and government workers? So as a business owner, some things you might do, look at maybe some type of discount or promotion that are specifically targeted towards furloughed workers. And you don't have to check their ID or their government card. Just take their word for it and really give it to anybody who asks. But the furloughed moniker or the fact that you're offering it to those workers would be better targeting. So it's more about the targeting than the actual trying to make sure everybody that called you is a furloughed worker. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. So don't go away. We're going to finish up talking about this topic. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we'll be back in about 30 seconds. Hang on. All right, we're back. We're back. We're talking about this federal shutdown, furloughed workers. We were talking about some of the things you can do as a small business owner to turn this challenge into opportunities. We're talking about maybe offering some type of promotions or discounts to furloughed workers. You can also, in the long term, beginning to diversify your portfolio so that you're not so dependent upon government contractors and government workers. And I always tell people when I'm writing their business plan to have a contingency plan. So contingency means that if you're making $100,000 a month, you build in about a $15,000 contingency, maybe towards expenses to cover things like shutdowns. So your contingency plan is a good time to go back and start looking at that on a long-term basis. Also, this is a good time to get out your social media and show your support for people who are being impacted by this shutdown. Go ahead and do a couple of reels, maybe put a little banner on your homepage of your website. Go to your Facebook page, your Instagram, your IG account. Go ahead and create your nice little banner. Tell these people, look, hey, we support you. Hang in there. Come by, get a free cup of coffee. And I'm just telling you right now, anybody who wants I'm not looking for clients right now, but anybody wants a free consultation, I got you. Just go to my website, gatewoodmarketing.com. Let's talk about what you're trying to do, how you're being impacted. And until I just run out of time and breath, I'll be glad to take that consultation and talk to people. Some people have already reached out to me. At a CPA firm to reach out to me the other day. I had somebody was doing some type of clothing line, and so it's not going to cost you a penny. That's one of my ways of helping. And if you need some help beyond that, just reach out to me anyway. Nobody's going to go hungry who knows me. So if you need a couple of coins to get you a nice dinner or feed the kids, let's talk about it. We're all community and family here. Now, as far as opportunity, this does not always have to be bad. Back in 2018, 2019, there was a government shutdown. And there were two sisters who were trying to figure out how to make ends meet and how to survive without their paychecks. There were two sisters working in two different government agencies. There was Jackie Thompson Wright and Nikki Thompson Howard. They were forced to step out on faith to support their families and to keep the money coming in. This is a really, really amazing story. So they started this company called Furlough Cheesecake. And I've been one of their biggest supporters. They have the location over in National Harbor, and I think they have other locations in the area. But they have been a Cinderella story. I was reading that Ellen DeGeneres gave them $20,000. They've been written up in all the major magazines. They've been the topic of all types of success stories. So my point is, and I say hats off to Jackie and Nikki. That's the kind of entrepreneurial spirit we need. So even though you may not have the amazing success that they have, you may even do better. My point is, this is a story in how we find a need and we fill it. We see a problem and we solve it. And they do have good cheesecake, by the way. I think they moved their location from over there on the main strip in National Harbor, now they're in Tanger Outlet. So there is a way that we can survive this, and in some cases thrive during these times of challenge. So what I'm going to say to your other marketing companies, other businesses out here, show empathy. Let people know that you understand. Don't make it sound like you're trying to take advantage of them or saying things like, hey, look, I know things are tough right now. I want you to try my service. You don't want to lead people on because they're vulnerable, and you don't have to charge them every time they pick up the phone to call you. If you have some free advice you can offer, some free tips, free tools, share that. Inspire them. Let them know that we, the business community, including the marketing pulpit, we have your back. And anybody who's a client of mine right now, if they're in the government space or if they're impacted by the government, if you owe me a payment this month, I'm going to defray it. I'm going to delay it. Do not send me a check this month. Let's move that back to November if you can do it. We'll deal with November when it gets here. And wrapping this up for today. We're talking about this shutdown, how people have been impacted. Looking ahead, let's not get caught blindsided time after time by these types of occurrences. I think in this climate that we're in right now, we're going to see disruptions more often. So when we come out of this, let's come out of it saying this might happen again. So kind of build your model around with more contingency capacity. Also, I want you to continue to build your community network. You can't do this alone. This is whether you're in a furlough or a shutdown or not. If you've been trying to do this all by yourself, you're going about it the wrong way. I'm just here to tell you. I've had successes over the years, but I'll be the first one to say that my secret sauce has been the collaboration with others. That's my business model, really. That's my main marketing model. I do social media, I do direct mail, I do digital marketing, but nothing has had more success for me than building a network of like-minded people that can support you, provide resources, inspiration, and then also your ability to give. That's one of the main benefits of networking. Is it's not about what people can do for you, it's about what you can do for others. So, matter of fact, if you're in the DC area, I'd like to invite you to come on out to the BLE/Marketing Pulpit First Friday. We do that the first Friday of every month. Come on out. There's not much you can do more important right now if you're in the DC area than to come out and hear. Matter of fact, we're dedicating this particular first Friday to you. Normally we have a speaker, but today, if you have a service, if you're thinking about getting in service, if you have a need, if you need support, if you need a collective hug, come on out to the BLE Marketing Pulpit First Friday, starting at 11:30. If you come on in, even if you get there at noon, that's fine. We're going to spend the first few minutes eating and networking anyway. But if you can come on out, It's going to be a good use of your time, particularly in light of what's going on in the Washington, D.C. area and around the country regarding this federal shutdown and the 400 plus thousand people who are being furloughed. Yes, it's challenges, but it's also opportunity. And every opportunity doesn't have to be immediate financial opportunity. It's a chance to get our ducks in a row, to think long term, to build relationships, discover resources. So let's look at this through a lens of optimism as we furlough forward. That's going to wrap it up for today. I'm Robert Gatewood. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. And as I sound off each show, if you want to be successful, you have to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you must do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work.